Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so a few weeks back, I done the greatest player from every season of the last 10 seasons. We are now going to do the greatest matches from every season for the last 10 seasons. If you guys want to see more concepts like this, be sure to smash 200 likes. So I know you like seeing these type of videos while Leeds United aren't playing and that I'm actually uploading something. So without further ado, I'm going to just try and just roll this straight away. We're going to start off with the 13-14 season. You know, there wasn't too much going well for Leeds United in the 13-14 season. Leeds United finished 15th. We won 16 games this season. I do have my notes down here. That's why I'm just looking at my notes. Some honourable mentions before we kick it off there. You know, we didn't have the best sort of season. Typically, it won't get good until we hit sort of the Bielsa era. But honourable mentions, we beat Brighton 2-1 in this season. We don't often beat Brighton at all, so that was quite a good win for Leeds United. We beat Ipswich 2-1, and there wasn't many standout games, but there was one standout game for me, and that probably was beating Huddersfield 5-1. I mean, it was an absolutely dramatic game. We were 1-0 down at halftime, and then 37 minutes of craziness in the second half. Leeds United scored 5, and there was a Ross McCormack hat-trick. Of course there was. What else? I mean, that's all he done was just score goals for Leeds United. Next season is the 2014-2015 season, and again, Leeds United sort of just done nothing again in this sort of season. We finished 15th. You know, we only won, I think, 15 games this season, but there wasn't too many to really talk about. An honourable mention was beating Borough 1-0. We also doubled Bournemouth. They went up as champions, so that could have kind of been a big one, but we didn't really smash them in any sort of game. I think we beat them 1-0 in both games, but there was one that stood out for me a bit more than the rest, and that was a 3-0 win at Craven Cottage. Goals from Sol Bamba, goals from Sam Byram, and also goals from Antonucci in the famous gold kit. Who remembers that kit? I mean, that kit was you either loved it or hate it. But yeah, like again, Leeds United didn't do too much in this season. So the 5-1 Huddersfield in the 13-14 season, and in the 14-15 season, I'm giving it for a 3-0 away win at Craven Cottage. The next season, things are starting to look up for Leeds United. I believe this isn't the Gary Monk era yet, but we did finish 13th in this season. And again, we actually won 14 games, so less than the previous 2 years. We had 17 draws in this season. Honourable mentions, you know, we beat Wolves 3-2. That was a good one. It was a late Leeds comeback, but Wolves weren't great this season. I actually think they finished below Leeds this season. I think they finished 15th, while Leeds finished 13th. But I'm going to go for, I don't know if you guys remember this game, but I'm going to go for the 2-1 win against Derby. This was a huge win for Leeds United, I thought. It was a Chris Wood late strike, and it was sort of near the start of the season where your hopes were still high for this Leeds United side. But yeah, pretty much it just went how it normally goes with this Leeds United side. At that time period, just went completely downhill. So I'm going to give it to Derby, and Derby finished in the playoffs this season. So actually, it was a very good win for Leeds United. Late strike from Chris Wood, 2-1. I remember the ball hitting the back of the net. It was perfect. Let me know what you guys think in the comments as well. Obviously, this is what it's for. The next season is the 16-17 season where Gary Monk was in charge. Leeds United finished 7th in this season, 5 points off playoffs. You know, I think it was something like out of our last 7 games, we only won one of them. It was typical Leeds. So that's why we didn't hit the playoffs. There was many fun games in this season. We beat the likes of Villa, Wolves, Cardiff, Forest. You know, very entertaining games. I think we won 22 games in this season, but there was one that stood out for me, and it was actually a 3-2 away win at Norwich. Who remembers Ronaldo Vieira's 91st minute screamer to win at Carrow Road? If you guys remember that, smash that like button. It was an absolutely delicious finish. And where is Ronaldo Vieira nowadays? I mean, he died way too soon, not literally, but he was a fantastic player, and arguably at the time he was better than Calvin Phillips. We just didn't get the most out of him. Next season was the 17-18 season, and Leeds returned to reality in this season by finishing 13th. Wasn't good at all. From 7th to 13th, Gary Monk went to Borough. It was a horrible season. Not many memorable wins in this season. It was a back to reality season, but there was one that did stand out more than the rest, and that was probably Lasogga scoring when we beat Burton 5-0 at Ellen Road. We haven't actually won 5-0, you know, loads over our years. There was a Eunan O'Kane brace of assists. Lasogga got 2 goals. We thought we had the next sort of German striker, next sort of Thomas Muller on our hands, but actually we had Pierre Lasogga, whatever his name was, and he was absolutely atrocious. So I'm giving it to a 5-0 Burton win. You know, there wasn't too much. I mean, go back and watch that season. That season's awful. Like, I was doing my research before this, and honestly, that season, the 17-18 season was a terrible one. But then the 18-19 season, Marcelo Bielsa comes into Leeds United. There's only one game that stands out for me, and it was actually the first game of the season for Leeds United. Bielsa ball peak. Gary Rowett was saying in that press conference before that, they're not that good, and Calvin Phillips just laughs, and goals from Click. There was that Pablo goal. If you remember that Pablo goal, the goal that just, sealed sort of Bielsa football, what it was. Coops got on the score sheet as well. There was too many games in this season. A lot of decent honourable mentions as well. The Villa comeback where Roof scored in the 95th minute. We beat West Brom 4-0. That was such a pressure game, and we went 1-0 up inside like 18 seconds. We obviously finished third in this season. We did ruin playoffs. We bottled playoffs against Derby, but it doesn't matter because the next season was even more spectacular. The season Leeds United returned to the Premier League. The 1920 season under Marcelo Bielsa, the season we finished first. I mean, there's so many good games in here. That's why I'm looking at the notes. There is so many good games. Again, the first game of the season against Bristol City when we won 3-1. Everyone was thinking, can Leeds United do it again? They were so good last year. They're going to run out of steam, run out of fitness. That was always the thing under Marcelo Bielsa. But then we just put 3 past Bristol City. Another brilliant game. We also beat Borough 4-0. Remember the Click top corner goal. Lovely. Also that screamer at St Andrews, which was 4-5 to Leeds United against Birmingham. That was a hell of a game. We beat Hull 4-0. I think Tyler Roberts got a brace in that game. We also beat 2-0 versus Huddersfield before COVID. Who remembers that Luke Ayling goal? We beat Stoke 5-0 in COVID. We also beat Derby 3-1. They had to give us a guard of honour. It was Bielsa ball at his finest, but there's only one goal. There's only one match that sealed it, and it was that match where Pablo scored the goal to pretty much send Leeds United back up to the Premier League. Pablo against Swansea in the 89th minute. What a goal that was. It was a huge goal. It really, really was. Next season, COVID season, Leeds United finished 9th in the Premier League. Again, a lot of good games in this season. Bielsa ball was at its peak. We finished 9th, like I said. Another Bielsa masterclass. Honourable mentions in this one. I'm actually going to start off with the first game of the season again when we lost 4-3 to Liverpool. A loss in honourable mentions, yes, but we were lucky. No, we were unlucky not to get a point. And also, we just kind of showed we just went toe-to-toe with Liverpool. It was an awesome game. I remember it just like it was yesterday. It was a brilliant game. I've got the 3-0 win at Villa with a Bamford hat-trick. Let's start scoring more goals, Patrick, as the season's coming to an end. Let's recreate that. We beat 5-2 versus Newcastle. Remember, that was on my birthday. That felt special, that one. We beat Spurs 3-1. We got another draw against Liverpool. It was just another incredible season, but there's only one. There is only one, isn't it? And it's that Dallas brace. I mean, I love Dallas. He's just retired now. What a legend that man is. But it's the Dallas brace at Man City when we beat them 2-1 at the Etihad. What a game that was. And then we move on to the next season under Jesse Marsh. I mean, Bielsa goes in this season. Jesse comes in. There wasn't brilliant. It wasn't brilliant, was it, really? There was only 9 wins in this season. Leeds United stay up on the final day. Honourable mentions, there was a 3-2 win at the Olympic Stadium at West Ham where Jack Harrison got a hat-trick. Also, when Leeds beat Norwich 2-1. I was at the game. Ellen Road Limbs. Joffy, 90 minutes. It was brilliant. Fair play to that bloke. I mean, he hasn't done too much since then, Joffy. Also, that Wolves comeback, where we were 2-0 down against Wolves at Molineux and we won 3-2. A Luke Ayling, nice little spin on what he done. It was crazy, but a lovely little result. But the only sort of result that kind of works is this result, isn't it? The last day of the season when Rafinha kept us in the Premier League. I mean, and then the year later, we go down. So it wasn't great anyway. But yeah, I've got to give it to that. That was probably Jesse Marsh's best moment at Leeds United. Or was it? Until we get to the next season, the 22-23 season. We only won 7 games in this season. The season we got relegated. This is only last year. Honourable mentions, that 3-0 win against Chelsea. It was fantastic, wasn't it? I actually checked my passport and thought, we're going to Europe. Clearly not. We're going to Plymouth. And then the Leeds 4-3 against Bournemouth. Again, hell of a comeback. Somerville and Nonto were fantastic. And again, that Wolves comeback when we won 4-2 and Ayling done the same celebration. It was pretty much the same sort of time. I think it was the same game the same year, like a year later. Either way, we just seemed to beat Wolves in a weird fashion. But there's only one game. It's got to be this one, isn't it? It's got to be when we broke the Anfield streak. I thought we were going to stay up. I really did. Just things were starting to maybe look a bit positive. We beat Liverpool at Anfield. Rodrigo scored an early goal, and then Somerville scored in the 90th. It was a lovely game, a lovely goal. Jesse Marsh with his little hand thing that he done. But at the end of the day, we only won 9 games that season, and that's why we went down, because we were absolutely atrocious. And then it comes to this season. What has been the game of the season so far? I know we're all doom and gloom right now, but there has been some good games this season. There really has. Honourable mentions. I want to start it off with that 4-0 win against Ipswich a couple of days before Christmas. Fantastic. Tore them off the park. The Leeds versus Huddersfield when we were 4-1. That was a game where I watched and I just thought, we're actually just really good at football. I mean, we're just good at football. Every chance sort of went in and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And also Millwall versus Leeds, where we won 3-0 at the Den. There was a lovely goal. I think maybe Pirot put it off, but it was the Somerville to Rutter to Pirot. It was a lovely goal. It was absolutely brilliant. I was doing that. It was fantastic. But there's one game that maybe stands out. I want to know what you guys think about this one, because who knows, really. But I'm actually going to give it to the game at Ellen Road where we beat Leicester 3-1. That 10 minutes of craziness. I've never seen Ellen Road like it. I wasn't there, but all 4 stands were absolutely screaming. You know, Leicester probably deserved the win. 80th minute, Leeds scored 3 goals and turned the game around. And to be fair, at this point in the season, you know, it could mean nothing, but it was a special night for them Leeds United fans. Currently, we are sitting 3rd. We don't play until next Monday when this is out. But guys, let me know your greatest matches over the years, and I hopefully you enjoy videos like this in the future. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I've been Ollie Ward. You guys have been excellent, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheery. Oh.